Hey, this is Wendell. Welcome to episode number 1 of the Open World Gaming Podcast. And today's topic is Just Cause 3. Super excited about this game. Got it a little bit late. It came out early December 2015, and I picked it up late December 2015, but I'm really enjoying my time with it. I do have a long history with the Just Cause franchise. I played Just Cause 1, let's see, many years ago. And I was super excited when Just Cause 2 came out. The improved graphics, I believe Just Cause 2 was on the PlayStation 2 is where I played it. Spent a lot of time in that game with my daughter. She loved it too. Jacking cars and planes and just running all over the world wreaking havoc. I spent an inordinate amount of time in Just Cause 2. And now I'm super excited about Just Cause 3. So my first impressions of Just Cause 3 are pretty good. Graphically, it's not the prettiest game in the world, but that's not really what I'm looking for in a Just Cause game. Another thing Just Cause does not have in spades is good story or voice acting, but that's sort of the fun of Just Cause. It is a campy story. It's a goofy story. The story really only exists to allow you to wreak havoc over the entire world. And that's good enough for me. I really just want an excuse to go blow up stuff and hijack cars and airplanes and helicopters and tether some poor guy by his leg to the top of a skyscraper. And you can do all of this in Just Cause. What Just Cause 3 lacks in story, it more than makes up for in the open world exploration. This is a huge world. It's apparently 400 square miles. So I don't know how you play Just Cause, but the way that I play any of the Just Cause games is I get in, I get through the tutorial, I want it to let me loose in the world, and I just want to go find stuff. I love the exploration, finding new bases, new vehicles, new ways of getting around, and of course destroying things, blowing stuff up, and Just Cause 3 is delivering that for me big time right now. I also really like clearing the map. That's one of the things that I really liked about the other Just Cause games, and Assassin's Creed and Far Cry 4 was liberating outposts and clearing towns and seeing the map turn from red to blue, going from the enemy's hands to my hands. And Just Cause 3 has given me that as well. So Just Cause 3 doesn't have much of a story, but the story that is there gives you just enough of an excuse to go destroy the world. The basic thread of the plotline is you are Rico Rodriguez, sort of, I suppose, a mercenary extraordinaire. You've done this in 2 other places in the world, this liberating a country from an oppressive dictator. And while you were away, your home country has been overrun by an oppressive dictator. So now you're back in town with your buddies and your grandma, and you need to do for yourself what you've been doing for other countries. Very early in the game, your friend tells you, Rico, do whatever you want. Whatever you destroy, we will rebuild. So in the first 5 minutes of the game, you have free license to literally destroy the entire country with no recourse. And that's necessary in a game like this. That's part of the fun. It's a huge sandbox where you can do whatever you want and destroy whatever you want without feeling bad about it. And now, Just Cause is technically a third-person shooter, although shooter fans would not say it was competent really at all. It's not a fantastic shooter. The gunplay doesn't feel great. But if you're running around shooting things with a gun, you're not really doing Just Cause correctly. You should be going and finding a rocket launcher, or maybe a military helicopter with a Gatling gun and Hellfire missiles, or planting explosives on gas tanks. As far as I've found in Just Cause 3, there is no look down the sight button. Everything is hip fire. There are no scopes, so far as I can tell. And I'm pretty sure that's on purpose. They're not trying to be a super competent shooter. The makers of Just Cause want you to be riding on top of a car and grappling and wingsuiting and parachuting around while you're firing. That's the fun of Just Cause. So while it is a third-person shooter, it's not a terribly competent third-person shooter. It's more of an open world, sandbox, do whatever you want, blow anything up, kill anyone, string them up to a side of a building, drop a naval ship right in the middle of a town. Just run absolutely wild kind of game. So there are a couple new systems in Just Cause 3, one of which is the new tether system. Now, Just Cause has always had a grapple, which is very handy for getting yourself around the world, accelerating into your parachute, and the grapple is still there, but it's been upgraded so that you can grapple something and tether it to something else. And you can have up to 4 tethers going at the same time. So you may have seen some of these videos online of people doing crazy stuff with these tethers. For example, you could tether an enemy to a propane tank, then shoot the propane tank, and watch the enemy get dragged along behind as the propane tank propels down the road. Or you could tether a guard's hand to the building and his other hand to the building, and then both of his feet to the building to where he's splayed like an X. You can tether cows to cars. You can tether 2 helicopters together and watch them try to fight it out and see who's going to survive. It really is a cool mechanic. And the other cool mechanic that they've added this time is the wingsuit. Now, Rico has always had a parachute, but parachutes are kind of slow. And now you can just pop out your wingsuit at any time and literally fly. It is super cool. It's a little difficult to get the hang of at first. Once you play for maybe half an hour or so, you'll get the hang of the wingsuit. And then comes the challenge of seeing how far you can go without hitting the ground. Because when you're flying with the wingsuit, you can grapple the ground, reel yourself in towards your grapple to gain speed, and then let go of the grapple, all while still in the air in your wingsuit. And you can do this over and over and over again and theoretically glide from one end of the map to the other. The longest I've been able to stay up is probably 45 seconds or a minute. And if you want a challenge, try wingsuiting through a tunnel. That's tough. I did it once. So yeah, I think I'd recommend Just Cause 3 to anyone who likes open world sandbox games. It has been having some trouble on consoles though. So if you're considering buying it on PS4 or Xbox One, I would do a little research if I were you. I'm playing it on PC and I haven't had any issues. I'm getting a solid 60 frames per second in 1080 and I haven't seen any bugs yet at all. I've only been playing it for a few hours, but it does seem to run pretty smooth. So yeah, I recommend you guys go out and get Just Cause 3. If you want to take a look at the gameplay and see what it looks like, we do have several Let's Plays up on our YouTube channel. To find all of the rest of our content, come visit us at owgpodcast.com. That's the home of this podcast, and we also have Let's Plays, a daily vlog, the live stream, a store for open world gaming merchandise, a really cool deals page where you can find discounts on things you were gonna buy already, and of course the forums. So come check out the website for all your open world gaming content. And if you have any suggestions or comments, the best way to get those to me is through Twitter. I'm at WendellIsWinning. So come find me and say hi. And we'll see you next week. Music by Canton Becker. Go check him out at cantonbecker.com.